at the implementing agency, the International Center on Green Technologies and Investment Projects is conducting a side event, unlocking sustainable innovation and creating enabling ecosystems of the clean tech innovation entrepreneurships. Дорогие участники, уважаемые гости, мы рады вас приветствовать на нашем сайд-ивенте, который в этом году впервые проводится в партнерстве совместно с Министерством экологии и природных ресурсов Республики Казахстан, Организацией ООН по промышленному развитию ЮНИДО и в качестве исполнительного агентства Международного центра зеленых технологий и инвестиционных проектов сайд-ивент, посвященный просвещению с устойчивым инновациям и созданию экосистемы зеленых технологий, чистых технологий и развития предпринимательства в области чистых технологий. Let's start with the opening session. And I am inviting to the opening remarks Mr. Seong Zhou, the Deputy to the Director General and the Managing Director of the Directorate of Technical Cooperation and Sustainable Industrial Development. Mr. Zhou, please. The floor is yours. Thank you. Ужас, Михайлович, пройдете на подиум, сядете.
Thank you, Madam Moderator, National Coordinator for GCIP in Kazakhstan. Excellencies, esteemed representatives, ladies and gentlemen, it is an honor and a pleasure to welcome you to this COP28 event, co-hosted by UNIDO and the International Green Technologies and the Investment Project Center, IGTSC. Today, we stand at a critical point in the need to urgently transition to low carbon and climate resilient economies. We must turn words into action to meet targets of the Paris Agreement and build prosperous communities. The path to low carbon and climate resilient future is not linear and cannot successfully unfold through isolated attempts. Therefore, we need multiple value creation and collective action. The innovative spirit and agility of startups and SMEs play a crucial role in structural economic transformation. The role of entrepreneurs as progress drivers is essential in emerging markets and developing economies to help communities find locally sourced solutions to energy and climate challenges. At UNIDO, we recognize the necessity of collective action in advancing climate action. With the support of our member states and multilateral donors, UNIDO implements initiatives focused on climate and energy transition and engages the private sector as solution providers and financiers. By empowering climate innovation stem from startups and SMEs, UNIDO brings affordable, high-impact solutions to the market, helps mitigate greenhouse gas emissions, and promote sustainable economic growth and green job creations. One of such UNIDO-led initiatives is the Global Clean Tech Innovation Program, GCIP, supported by the Global Environment Facility, GEF, and the Green Climate Fund. GCIP is a great example of what we can achieve through innovation, collaboration, and commitment to success. Since its pilot launch in 2011, GCIP has grown into a global program covering 16 countries across Africa, Asia, Latin America, and Eastern Europe. In each of them, including in Kazakhstan, GCIP is catalyzing change. Ladies and gentlemen, we are also here to discuss how to build and connect clean tech innovation and entrepreneurship ecosystems. Our focus is on building capacities, sharing experience, and nurturing enabling ecosystem for the clean tech entrepreneurship to thrive. In this open knowledge exchange, we are privileged to have among us esteemed members of the Ministry of Ecology and Natural Resources of the Republic of Kazakhstan, entrepreneurs, colleagues and country representatives, this is the powerful reminder of our shared commitment to accelerate climate action and industry development. UNIDO's projects support climate entrepreneurs throughout their startup to scale up journey, fostering interactions at the various levels and enhancing South-South cooperation. This approach allows stakeholders from different countries to learn, innovate, and jointly progress. Women and youth are also key drivers of innovative solutions. Their inclusion and leadership are vital for achieving climate goals. Allow me also to mention the recent launch of the UNIDO-led Accelerate to Demonstrate facility, A2D, funded by the government of the UK. A2D builds on the GCIP framework, providing crucial support to clean and climate technology innovations. UNIDO aims to be a one-stop shop in supporting the emergency development and large-scale adoption of innovative climate solutions in emerging markets and developing economies. GCIP services have already benefited more than 1,300 startups and SMEs globally, with 35% being women-led enterprises. Today, we will have the opportunity to hear inspirational stories from the two UNIDO-supported clean tech entrepreneurs from Free the Seed and the Ecobeta company. Ladies and gentlemen, as we continue today's discussion, I encourage you to engage actively and approach each interaction with an open and curious mind. I wish you all a constructive and insightful time at this event and at COP28. Thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you very much, Mr. Zhou. And may I ask you to sit at the podium, and maybe just in case if some questions will be raised from participants, to sit. And at any seat, please. Any seat which you like. Thank you. And I need to convey apologies from Saulia Sabieva. She is the director of the Climate Policy Department of the Ministry of Ecology, and she sent me at the last minute the message that she has an urgent task to participate in the meeting at the ministerial level. So unfortunately, she cannot join our side event. And next speaker, so I invite Mr. Olzhas Agabekov, the chairperson of the International Center on Green Technologies and Investment Projects. Please, the floor is yours. Thank you.
This is me, Soyoung Zoy, dear participants. On behalf of the Ministry of Natural Resources and of Republic of Kazakhstan, I'm pleased to welcome everyone to the opening of this our side event dedicated to promoting sustainable innovations and developing an ecosystem of entrepreneurship in the field of the innovation and clean technologies. We recognize that the pursuit of the innovative ideas and approaches, along with their promotion in national and regional markets, will contribute significantly to addressing both national and global challenges related to climate change. COP28 President Dr. Sultan Al-Jaber, in his speech to world leaders, noted that innovative thinking is needed to finance the new climate economy. Today, the country has created all the necessary institutional foundations for the development of innovation and green financing. This includes the adoption of the environmental code in accordance with the standard of OECD countries, which in turn contains a transition to the principles of the best available techniques, green incentive measures, and separate articles devoted to the development of carbon markets and adaptation to climate change. Kazakhstan is the first country in the region to announce its commitment to carbon neutrality. And in the February of this year, President of Kazakhstan, Kassym-Jomart Tokayev, approved the strategy of achieving carbon neutrality by 2060. The International Green Technologies and Investment Projects is a tool for implementing environmental reforms of the state, including the development of reference books on BAT and the creation of a system for development of green technologies. On the basis of the International Green Technologies and Investment Project Center, the Industry Center of Technological Competence of the Ministry of Ecology and Natural Resources of the Republic of Kazakhstan, or Competence Center, was created. The goals are the technological development of the industry, the implementation of tasks to ensure the development and promotion of the high-tech innovations in the field of green technologies, taking into account industry priorities and specifies. For the purpose, it's planned to attract leading domestic and foreign experts and expert organizations, international technology companies, and research organizations. Currently, we are working on the cooperation with the government agencies of Japan, Republic of Korea, the European Union, and the Singapore for the further implementation of the technology transfer. All this turn fits into the developed concept for development of the Green Hub for the transfer of innovative technologies, the development of green financing, and the creation of an ecosystem of environmentally friendly startup projects. Speaking specifically about innovative solutions, the project Global Program for the Promoting Innovation in the field of clean technologies and entrepreneurship in SMEs to create green jobs in Kazakhstan has been underway since November 2022. The project aims to promote clean technology innovation through a cross-sector and multi-stakeholder approach to reducing greenhouse gas emissions and creating sustainable innovations ecosystem for small and medium-sized enterprises and startups. The ultimate goal is to make Kazakhstan a regional and international leaders in the field of green technologies. Today, we're all excited to hear more about the results of this project, I think, and selected startups. Wishing all of you successful flow of this event. Thank you.
Dear Uljas Pernikhanovich, thank you very much for opening our side event. Dear participants, we are sorry. I was said that Mr. Zhou has to leave as he has another meeting. And so if you have some questions or comments or maybe some recommendations, so we stay here and we can deliver them to us, to our team. And before closing the opening session, I would like to have a group photo with our high-level participants. So yes, I invite all our startups participants, yes, and our team who are supporting to organize this event. So I would say that this is our first experience to conduct such a international side event in cooperation with UNIDA and other participants. And I believe that within the project realization in next years, in 2024 and 25, I think we'll keep to organize such side events at the international platforms as COP29 and COP30, and also at the global GC program events organized by UNIDA. And now I would like to open our session 2. It's devoted to exchange knowledge, experience, and to know a little bit more about the global Green Tech Innovation Program. And I invite Mr. Sanyong Su and our winners of the previous participation in GC Global Program, Mr. Ramanes, Mrs. Rita, and our young entrepreneurs, Asimgul and Aygirim. Please take your seats at the podium. Yeah. So I think that you are sitting nice, or maybe closer, to sit closer together. Huh? Yeah. It's not presentation. It will be like a live dialogue. Yeah. So please, San Yong, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us for this very exciting side event. We have 4 entrepreneurs here on the stage, and we have another very successful entrepreneur from Thailand sitting with us here in the room, as well as the Chief of Climate Innovations, Technologies Innovation Unit of UNIDO. So we have somewhat of an inner circle here with a lot of experience and a lot of knowledge and expertise in the space of clean tech. And it is my privilege to first start this session by introducing to you the Global Clean Tech Innovation Program. Perhaps many of us in this room are very familiar with the GCIP, but I know that also this event is being live streamed and recorded. And for benefit of those friends and colleagues who are joining us online, I'd like to just very briefly let you know that the GCIP, our main objective and our approach is to work with the private sector as solution providers for climate action. We talk of how many technologies already exist, and the challenge now is to make sure that they are scaled up and adopted in order for these technologies to make impact. So we have 5 solutions already in this room. And if you were driving here, or if you're taking the metro to this location today, you may have seen the slogan that says, "Let's deliver." We have a lot of people here that are already delivering. So I'm very excited to hear and share with you the experiences that they can bring to the table. So the GCIP approach is to work with the private sector as solution providers, and we support this process by delivering clean tech specific coaching and training services so that the clean tech entrepreneurs who have some innovative idea that can deliver climate benefits, when they encounter a challenge, they know how to navigate through the ecosystem. And we also provide investment facilitation services so that when there is financing needed, we are there walking with them, holding their hand, and making sure that they know how to talk to financiers and investors. And also they know who to talk to, because the ecosystem is so vast and it's very populated, but there are also gaps. The second pillar of GCIP is ecosystem building and strengthening. I just mentioned that there are some gaps in the ecosystem, and our role is to identify what gaps exist and identify what type of services and what types of actors can fill that gap so that the ecosystem can be more robust and can be coherent in supporting the private sector in their delivery of climate solutions. And then the third pillar, last but not least, is this type of connecting function. So GCIP, as you know, is a global program currently active in 16 countries. And by year 2025, we expect to be active in 25 countries. And from Vienna, where UNIDO headquarters is, our role is to share tools and share experiences with each of the countries that are executing GCIP. So there's knowledge and learning that are exchanged, and also the failures that each country experiences, that those failures and learnings from those failures can be transferred so that it's not repeated, but then the services that we provide can be refined. So this was my attempt to briefly introduce to you the GCIP. And now I will hand over the floor to the 4 entrepreneurs here. And in the GCIP program, we have something called the elevator pitch. This is a term that's very familiar to all the entrepreneurs on stage because it's part of our training exercise. So I would just like to go around the room here, ask you, who are you? What's your solution? And how are you contributing to climate? So Ramanes, I'm going to ask you to start as the entrepreneur with the most experience and set the standard for us.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sun Young, and good afternoon to everyone. I'm Ramanes. I'm from Malaysia. I own a factory called Free the Seed Malaysia company. Started in 2014. We are in a sustainable packaging business, converting agriculture waste material, biomass, using our cellulose technology, biotechnology, and turn the waste biomass material like rice straw materials and any other agriculture material that is no use at the moment into compostable packaging to American standard, European standard, international standard, and deliver this to the market where plastic is a major issue. This is in line with Net 2050 target. We are solution provider to single-use plastic replacement wherever applicable and practical. So I joined GCIP program, UNIDO's GCIP program in 2014, Malaysia's first batch of GCIP, and went through all the detailed process and was very successful. Today I'm here to share our success because UNIDO GCIP is the best.
Thank you, Ramanas.
Thank you.
Perhaps before going on to another entrepreneur, Ramanas, could you tell us how your solution contributes to climate action?
Certainly. So our solutions is on two prongs. We are addressing climate change issues at upstream and also downstream. Meaning at upstream, agriculture-based country, Malaysia is also traditionally agriculture-based country, has pain point. The pain point is every harvesting, the farmers has to think what to do with the waste from the agriculture produce. Rice field produce a lot of rice straws, almost ratio 1:1. I mean, every 1 ton, you have 1 ton of waste. And this has to be managed properly. So at the moment, the conventional method is open burning, massive climate change, massive global warming, greenhouse gas emissions. But that is the quickest, easiest, simplest, cheapest methodology. So we have a solution from the UNIDO GCIP program, not to burn, convert, transport, harvest, and deliver to my factory, additional income to them. We mitigate open burning at upstream. And second point, on the downstream, when we produce compostable packaging product and deliver to market, meaning we have avoided plastics coming into the system. If I deliver 100,000 pieces of biodegradable, let's say food tray, meaning I have avoided 100,000 plastics food tray. So we are addressing also on the downstream. So upstream climate mitigation, downstream climate mitigation. Upstream on the open burning has been stopped or eliminated or reduced. Downstream plastics goes into landfill, now has been reduced. These are all in line with Net 2050. So I have some samples just to give you an idea. So this is a biodegradable kidney tray meeting hospital standards. We deliver this to European hospital. And in the past, they use a lot of plastics or stainless steel, a lot of water, a lot of detergent, energy and utility utilization, which is not eco-friendly. Today, use and throw in 6 months, this become fertilizer. So this is another solution why farmers are happy to sell their waste to us. For example, we also have avocado tray. We can make avocado tray from avocado waste. So if the farmers has avocado plant in Africa and produce, let's say, 2 million avocado trees, fruits, and they have, let's say, 200,000 kilogram of avocado waste, we can turn the cellulose waste into biodegradable packaging to pack avocado. So these are the solutions that we provide to mitigate the single-use plastic and also open burning of agriculture waste. So we are in SDG, ESG, circular economy, extra income to farmers, and also make the customers happy because transitioning from single-use plastics to sustainable packaging.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Ramanas. And once we have a chance to hear from the other entrepreneurs, I want to ask you again how you are able to scale up from 2014 until now. So
Sure.
I'd like you to tell us about your successes, who your clients are at the moment, but also you mentioned some regulations you have to abide by in order to supply to hospitals and so forth. And I think compliance issues in different markets is something that a lot of these entrepreneurs, as they think of overseas expansion, will encounter. So there, I'd ask you to share some experience as well.
Certainly.
But before that, I would now move on to Rita and ask her to introduce herself and her solution.
Thank you. So my name is Rita Ide. Hi, I'm from Nigeria. And so in Nigeria, 7 out of 10 households, even in urban communities, do not have access to a formal waste management infrastructure, and instead burn their waste or dispose along drainage ways, further worsening our vulnerability to urban flooding. In Nigeria last year, about 1.5 million people were displaced due to flooding. So to address this problem and threats, we launched a platform that enables households to value their waste and use their waste as a currency. So through our platforms, households are able to request for waste pickup directly from the convenience of their homes. And instead of paying, we in fact give them points, which they can store and then redeem as cash directly into their bank accounts, used to buy products and services from partner stores, and donate to charity organizations. The other side of our solution is also the fact that we identify, train, and bring on informal waste pickers onto our platform. So we then dignify their work also and improve their earning potential. So this is what we do. And so far, monthly we collect about 40,000 kilograms of waste, servicing about 2,500 households. And I had a meeting with my team last week, and we found out that but before we joined the GCIP last year and now, we've done about 119% increase in the volume of waste that we collect. And I would literally say thank you to the GCIP. And so yes, that is it about EcoBat and what we do briefly.
Excellent. Thank you very much. How about?
Hello, everyone. My name is Agirim, and I'm here to represent Ocean M platform. That's a startup that we actually founded around 3 years ago, and we are batch of GCIP of this year. And the main point of this startup is to actually create a platform to monitor the water resources of Kazakhstan, because the issue that we're addressing is the lack of centralized data, and also the efficiency of water management. It actually depends of data-driven decisions. And in order to make it more efficient, we have to provide the data, we have to collect it, to store it and analyze it in order to provide forecasts of flooding and water management and consumption and water levels. And why is this crucial for Kazakhstan is because we're a country that actually depends on the bordering countries, water wise, I mean, because we have like 8 water pools in Kazakhstan, and 7 of them is shared with the bordering countries. So that's a crucial issue for Kazakhstan. And we are a team of enthusiasts, and we actually want to provide this solution of the live stream mapping of water levels and water consumptions in different areas of Kazakhstan. And actually we're aiming for the whole country. So we want to provide centralized water data centralization and unification. So basically that's it. If you have any additional questions,
yes.
we'll be
if I can follow up there, what are some use cases for your data? How do you imagine your platform to be used, and who are your customers, your first customers?
Great. Thank you, Sonia, for your question. First of all, I'd like to say that we have already taken prudent actions on our own. So we started a pilot project within one of the canals in the southern part of the country. And we actually got the information that the data that is officially transparently stored in from different governmental organizations, it is not the actual data. So we actually found the differences in the water levels in the provided data. First of all, that's the first thing. And then another one is that we are aiming in collaborating with different institutions and government, first of all, so we can address the issue of the whole country. So that's why we need our government to support us in the process of unification of the standards of data gathering and analytics. So for now, we see our clients, our endpoint client as the government, of course, because for now, the data is collected from different institutions. So it varies from institution to institution. So we want to make it centralized and unified. In order to do that, we need the support from these institutions and from the government as well. Yeah.
All right, thank you very much.
Oh,
Um,
and can I also add to that? And also, of course, the farm industry is going to benefit from this water management solution. Okay, thank you.
Excellent, thank you very much. And now I go to Asem.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Asim Gultuyakbayeva. I'm also from Kazakhstan, from the current batch GCIP. I present startup Sagi. Sagi is the EcoBonus platform that helps to earn money from recycling waste for small and medium business and individuals. Actually, the problem is that Kazakhstan now is on the 175 place in the world on recycling the waste, and only 20% of 405 million tons of waste recycled. So the problem is that government supports and builds recycling companies and plants, but we work with recycling habits of individuals. We have no habit and knowledge and motivation of people to recycle the waste. So that's why we're going to financially motivate people by giving them rewards, coupons and certificates from the restaurants, cafes, etc. And actually now we built our SaaS platform for business and mobile application Sagi. And nowadays there are 600,000 downloads of app, and nearly more than 200 business work with us. And we help individuals to save nearly $200 in a year in their purchases. And we decrease customer acquisition for SMBs, decrease the cost acquisition to 10 times because we give them SaaS marketing platform for that. So with the help of GCIP, actually, this program helped us actually to see as subsequent segments for us and to analyze what markets we can enter. So nowadays we signed memorandum with the international company that's called Sparklo that works in 12 countries. And we're going to nearly recycle more than 3 million bottles in a year. In a year. Okay, so this is our actually solution, and now we're going to scale in the future in Central Asia and to the market of MENA.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So we have heard from 4 companies what their solution is and how they are benefiting the climate. Perhaps I would just add for your background information that while GCIP is a global program, our business acceleration support is delivered at the national levels. So in the case of Kazakhstan, UNIDO partners with ICTIC, represented by our 2 colleagues here, so that the GCIP approach can be translated into the national context so that its policies and its market conditions are fully reflected in the business support services that GCIP provides, and that GCIP is an annual cycle. So each year we support between 20 to 30 companies per year per company. And so we have heard from 2 Kazakh entrepreneurs here. They are currently in the program as of now. So they are just in the thick of it. They are getting worksheets, they're getting coaching, they're getting mentoring, they're getting homework. They're really in the thick of delivering, improving their business models. Whereas we have Ramanes here from the 2014 cohort. So that's far behind him, but he has had accumulated experience since then that we think will be very beneficial to the more recent cohorts here. Rita is from the 2022 cohort, so she's relatively new. And then in the audience, we have Achara Pumi from Thailand. She's the CEO of PAC Corporation, and she is the national winner of Thailand from 2017. So we have a spectrum of entrepreneurs that went through the GCIP. And I think I'm going to go back to the 2023 cohort and ask you, why did you apply to the GCIP? What were you looking for? What frustration, I guess, did you have that you felt the need to receive mentoring and coaching? And then I would ask for your candid feedback on, are your expectations being met? Or did you realize actually your expectations were maybe misaligned with what you actually need? So maybe you realize, actually, I went into GCIP looking for A, but I realized I need B. So I'm just very curious about what you're experiencing right now. What are you enjoying? What are some additional things you need? Sorry? Yes. So who wants to take this question first?
Okay, from my opinion is we actually applied to this project in order to scale our product. Actually, we also have income. And we're scaling in Kazakhstan. We would like to enter another markets, but in the process of education, of course, we started to analyze and to look at our project from another side to understand our target markets, what they actually need, what like pains they have, and how we can help them to solve it. And of course, in working with the worksheets, we saw our maybe mistakes and maybe our wrong hypotheses. We made more than 200 interviews with SMBs, and this actually helped us to understand our target markets. So of course, the main achievement is that we had the memorandum, as I said before, with the company, and we are ready now to scale. And also our another aim to apply to this project, of course, is financing, to have investment, to get the investment. So GCIP actually helped us to work with our pitch deck and how to design it, how to feel it very correct, and what details, how to understand finance to predict finance, etc. What cost and what income do we have, etc. So of course it's like deeping in our project again and to understand it very well and how we can make it, how to scale it again. So yes. And
Okay.
our actually expectations meets what actually we get it. So the GCIP is a very great program. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. So if I just confirm my understanding of what you're saying that you entered the program in order to expand into overseas markets, and you felt that GCIP, because it's a global program, would provide you with the networks.
Sure. Yeah.
and
Actually,
connections. Yeah.
we talked before with Rita, and I think I found one like partner, how we can partner together, because she is also from the sphere of waste management. So we like, yes, found each other now.
Yes, that's great. That's
It's
great.
all about
Yes.
the networking and participating. So it's a great opportunity for
Yes.
us.
Yes, I'm very, very glad to hear that. That is one of our functions as UNIDO, that we bring our partners together. And sometimes just being in the same room does a lot of the work already. Yes, that's great. Thank you. And Ozan, what has been your experience?
Sure. Well, I would like to agree on that with Sungul, that I'm really grateful for this program, GC, because first of all, it's the network, of course. I mean, one of the reasons why we applied is for the network. And the second one is we are pretty flexible. So we wanted to gather some valuable feedback so we can actually do some pivot if needed, and to understand what are the key expectations of the future investors, and also maybe to gain some new knowledge. I guess that was the main point, to get knowledge and to network. And I would like to say that we actually I mean, the program is meeting our expectations to the fullest, because we even the mentor that we got, even though he did not have had the exact experience with water management or working with data, but even though he didn't have that, but he had a crucial network in Kazakhstan of different institutions and scientific researchers who worked with the water investigation problems. So basically, we met our expectation with the network already. So, and we are also expecting more as well, of course.
Okay,
Thank you.
great. Yes. When did you join the program? In what month?
We joined it in the summertime, but it was
Okay.
online, like
Okay.
webinars and
Uh-huh.
everything. And then we had an offline event recently, somewhere in October, I believe.
Okay, so
And
it's-
that was
Mhm.
the time when we got to network in person,
Okay.
and we
Was
got some
National
really
Academy, yeah.
valuable
National
insights.
Academy.
Yes.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
I can provide some details.
Sure, yes,
Yes,
please.
when GCIP project started in Kazakhstan. So actually, the agreement between UNIDA and ICTIP was signed in November 2022, but the active stage of implementation of the project started in April this year. Yes, the ICTIP received the first tranche, and so all the activities started to be implemented in the country, and some delay happened. And so we had engine webinars. I think they're very remarkable, yes, and very useful trainings. And we also conducted the National Academy training, where we collected our startups, and they had a great opportunity to introduce each other, to get new knowledge. And now we are concluding this year by conducting a national forum, and we hope we'll identify finalists, our winners, and we do it on the 14th of December. And so-
Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you. So it's been just a very short amount of time and a lot has already happened.
Yes, as I said
Mhm.
before, we got really valuable insights during these webinars and also these offline events. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. Before I go to Ramanes and Rita to ask about their experience, I just want to colleagues and friends in this room that although the mics are all on the stage, they have very long cables. So I can walk over to the other side and give you the microphone. So just please raise your hand if you have any question, comment, intervention, suggestion. You're very, very welcome to be part of this conversation. So Ramanes, let us come back to you, please. Do you remember the experience of GCIP in 2014? What do you remember as the most valuable insights you received, for example? And what were some things that GCIP was not able to provide you in 2014, and therefore you had to navigate this space? So in other words, I'm asking, how can GCIP enhance or refine our services to be of better service to entrepreneurs going forward?
Right. So, in 2014, this awareness, the degree of awareness of net zero 2050, carbon removal, carbon adaptation, plastic is bad, 1.5 degrees C, 2 degrees C, never was there. So I had a moving mountain challenges to challenge and to overcome the challenges to sell even one piece of my product. When
So
I
you
go
have to create the market yourself, essentially.
that is correct. So market is immature at that point of time due to buyers are not eco-friendly supportive at that point of time. And the whole ecosystem is not established. And I come from Malaysia at that point, in that area, within that regional area, Southeast Asia. We are not like EU or America, where the degree of climate change or global warming already come to a very critical point. So going into the market was a disaster for startup. And so my motivations to go into GCIP was that those are the building blocks that I don't have in my hand, but I could tap it from UNIDO's GCIP program. So my expectation at that point of time is I had basically a 4 key expectation. How to cross valley of death from proof of concept stage, for which every startup will have this concern and face. How to go to market, how to sustain and develop your business plan, and how to make the first $1 million business. This is my 4 key expectations and key answers that I don't have as a startup company in 2014, where all this scenario never happened. And during the 10-month course of UNIDO GCIP, I was very lucky. I had a very good mentors and coach who are working very tirelessly to develop startup entrepreneurs from Malaysia and Southeast Asia or during that batch. And I put forward these issues and concerns, and through their mentoring, clinic, coaching, supervision, I overcome all those expectations. So basically, it fits well into my jigsaw puzzle. As you know, UNIDO is about, if you can see the tagline, progress by innovation. So we are still progressing through multiple innovations. And today we are very successful because of UNIDO's GCIP model.
Thank you. You're always very kind to us. Thank you very much. I want to also give you some time to brag about the successes you've achieved so far. So do you want to tell us how you've scaled up? What are your operations like
Yes.
now? What's your revenue?
Right. As you know, once I've overcome the building blocks by enrolling into GCIP 10 months program, I had opportunity the next year to get connected to international clients, international investors, international ecosystem partners. 2015, Free the Seed was invited to Palo Alto, Silicon Valley in America, and we got the Alumnus Award year 2015. So that opened up a lot of doors for raising finance, raising investment portfolio, and also connecting to potential clients and prospects. So that was trigger point and starting point. So we started in TRL1, R&D stage, before proof of concept, and all the way 2014 up to 2023 now. Fast forward, we are already in TRL10, from one lab and one factory. Today I have 8 factories, from turnover less than $100,000. Today we make multi-million US dollar turnover, from 7 workers to 100 plus workers, from 300 farmers now to 1,318 paddy farmers, benefiting additional income through our GCIP project on the ground. And we are expanding and opening up also new factories in other regional countries. We have a plan to expand into Africa. We have a plan to expand into Eastern Europe. We have a plan to open up factory also in certain part of USA to meet our customers' demand. And we have moved from a traditionally low margin products to a higher margin product. So net margin is good, balance sheet is good, P&L is, P is good, not L, PAP is good. And we are very successful because again, the GCIP UNIDO model.
Great, thank you very much, and congratulations. And we're always very grateful that you come back to GCIP to inspire also other entrepreneurs that are in the process as well. So thank you very much for that.
Thank you.
Rita, share with us some of your thoughts.
Thank you again. So I think for me, it was 2 things. When I saw the call for application for GCIP Nigeria, it was the inaugural, stage. I think it was with Impact Up. So the message was they were going to access how, you were contributing to the climate first, and then help turn your climate business into a market-focused business. So I had my expectation was first proof of concept to, get the proof that what I was doing first was actually impacting the climate in a good way first, because, yes, we collect the waste, but there is also logistics involved. Because then you're collecting waste, but you're emitting, because most of our vehicles as at then were fossil fuel powered. That's the first thing. The second thing was the fact that just like Ramanes, we were also a very low margin business. So you collect waste, we sort the waste, and then we sell to different manufacturing companies. It was really low margin. So there was a need that we needed to shift how we were doing business to, we want to be sustainable. Yes, you're making impact, but you have to have good profits. So those 2 things, understanding our impact and also profitability, were, were the reasons why I applied for the GCIP. The first one, like in the first, 1 month, we got that. So there was a form that you were meant to fill. They took you through how to understand your emissions and all of that. We got that. And right now, so I could tell you the metric tons of CO2 that we emit and all of those. And then on the market side, so it was a very long process, because from the pitching that was done, so we had to rejig how our pitch deck was. I had to learn how to tell the EcoBatter story differently, and then aside from telling the story to even attract finance, it was also how we were doing business. So, we had to change because it was waste, because it was environment, we were so focused on the impact that we're making and not really figuring out how to go to market or how to make profit. So, through the training process and the work, because there was a workshop after, the initial we did the National Academy first before the webinars, so we learned, or I learned how to redesign the business. So now again, when I talk about eco barter, there is a balance between environmental impact, social impact, and financial impact. And it's also very obvious in like the money that we make now, the profits. So we've gone from, making about 5% profit margin to doing 25%. And we've also then opened new streams of income thanks to, all of the insight that we got from the coaches. I think I would like to say it here that, so you've done the National Academy, but for entrepreneurs, it is very important that when you have like platforms like GCIP and you're doing trainings, that you actually put your solutions out there to be used as examples. So for me, when Ken and I've forgotten the other person's name, when they ask and say that, oh, so who wants to come out and pitch, or who wants to come out and test their whatever they've learned in the last 3 hours, I'm always quick to, okay. So a number of times they were using my solutions as examples, and I got a lot of feedback from a lot of even people like other entrepreneurs from the coaches. And yes, so those were the two major things. One thing that I didn't expect that I then got was the network and partnership. So right there for the National Academy, when I met other entrepreneurs, because that was also my first time, attending a project or a program that was about clean tech. So most times I go for women entrepreneurship and all of that, but then it was technology, and then it was, clean energy. So I solved the problem of logistics because I then met a guy on my own team or in the Nigerian, program that produces bikes, EV bikes. And then so we got some of the bikes, and that has also helped green our logistics infrastructure and how we collect waste, improved our, we now emit less because we have cleaner, logistics infrastructure. So that partnership, and now I'm talking to her and all of that. So that's the other thing that I didn't even expect. And then I got through the program.
I love it. That's great. Thank you very much. Thank you. I'm very keen to get some insights from my chief, Mr. Muvlanga. He's the Chief of Climate Technologies Innovation Unit at UNIDO. And from what I know, he has also been part of the GCIP journey from the very beginning. So you know that GCIP was first piloted at a COP in South Africa, COP17 in year 2011. 2011. So it has a very long history of launching at COP and then also showcasing our results at COP. I'm not even going to ask my chief a question because I know he already has a lot of insights to share. So I'll just hand over the mic.
Thank you. I'm quite privileged to be here and quite impressed by the level of and the success of each one of the GCIP alumni that have gone through the clean tech process. I'm not yet a grandfather as a human being, but I think I can claim to be a grandfather of GCIP in the sense that we've seen it growing in terms of the volumes, our approach, our tools, and also becoming a global program. One of the things that we sort of face is financing. And I'm actually quite keen to hear from Achara as well and everybody here to say from GCIP's perspective, how else can we support you after the acceleration so that you are able to mobilize financing that helps you to start prototyping, to start going to scale. And this is, I mean, in my view, this has been one of the key missing blocks in the GCIP story. So perhaps if we could spend some time on the financing, especially perhaps Achara and Ramanes can tell us in terms of after you've gone through the acceleration, from a financing perspective, how did you start mobilizing or convincing other people that you are an enterprise or startup that is worth to be invested in? Because the whole claim to fame of GCIP is that we try to help you to transform your innovation into an enterprise. But that is not the full story. Before, if someone does not invest in you, you cannot go anywhere. So I'm keen to know about this missing piece around early stage financing, seed financing, early growth stage financing. What has been your experience and how does it inform us from a GC perspective to start working on the issue of financing? That's my first question. But also the issue of policy and regulation. We are quite keen and excited that we are working with national governments, especially in this stage of GCIP. We want to hear from you, how else can the governments, the national institutions help you to bring your business to scale quicker? Because as you know, we are a neutral facilitator. We can also help you to engage or support the governments in developing policies and regulations that are geared towards supporting the scaling up or the success of our clean tech enterprises. Thank you so much. I'm quite impressed to see you all.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So as the panelists brood over this question that Mr. Mulanga has posed, I'm going to actually put Ms. Achara Pumi on the spot and just give her a couple of minutes to introduce her solution and any other insights, comments, suggestions you would have for clean tech enterprises.
Hello. Hi, everyone. Very glad to be here and very glad to stand here as well. Actually, I'm not the speaker for this event, but I am the fan of GCIP. We are the winner. I am the winner of year 2017, and we are neighbors from Malaysia. Say hi to you.
Sawadee.
Sawadee. I have heard his story for a long time. He's quite idol. Yeah, it's an idol of our GCIP company community. And today, very glad to see you in person. For my story, I am in the energy efficiency sector. We focusing on the air conditioning and water heating. How to reduce the environment impact from these two appliances due to they are the most energy consumption comparing with any others appliance. So I try to invent some innovations, use the waste heat from the aircon to generate hot water without electricity consumption. And then we expand the product to be heat pump to use the air from the environment to transfer to the heat with no aircon needed. And we expand to solar air conditioning to use the renewable energy to produce the electricity and run the aircon in the daytime without any electricity consumption as well. So we develop our product related to heating and cooling solutions. And due to we were in the very competitive market in Thailand, I mean the air conditioning market. So we try to think about which kind of innovation can be launched to the market to be competitive. Because of I came from the family business first, and I try to differentiate the market. So this is the first innovation, the heat recovery water heater at that time. And because of I have no money, no connections, no knowledge, so the GCIP is one of the program came in my mind due to I have heard the program from the year one in year 2016 from my colleagues. But I cannot apply in time for that time. So I plan to be next year. I will be there. And we learn a lot from the program as you mentioned. And I would like to answer you a little bit about finance. As we are the startup in the beginning, we will face the problem about the investment due to in my country. We have to invest by ourselves because of the bank will not lend you the money if you have no experience in the company or you just found the company no later than 3 years. So I go for the government grant. Yeah, and this is one of the option for the startup. But it's very limited funding at that time, more than 10 years, but it's easier this year, many grants. And for year 2017, we won the award. it's quite a big money for my opinion. The winner is 30,000 US dollar that time for the winner. So that one is I think is the reward for our hard working. But after that, I would like to ask you about how to make the ecosystem about the investor and the clean tech entrepreneur to be close the gap a little bit, because of at that time I went to Vienna as well to raise funding, but it seems like our innovation is not suitable or is not matched with the investor in the Western country due to the climate is not the same. They do not want to use the air conditioning there, but my innovation is about the local base. So how you funding about the investor, the right investor locally that can funding to the entrepreneur? Yes, to mix and match. And I think it's easier to the entrepreneur to capture that opportunities. And another one is about the partnership. I think the partnership is very important. As you say that you are in the same industry, but different countries, you can partnership each other. I think GSIP have many alumni in many countries. How come you can gather together, maybe online or at any event? I'm not sure for the format. I have attended one event in UK. It's called Leader in Innovation Leadership. They collect 15 yes alumni, the one who outstanding in their business adventure, go to see each other, matching and showcasing that innovation in Royal Academy of Engineering in the UK. So I think this kind of matching and networking can be supporting by GCIP due to you have really, last long program around the world. So this kind of connections can be leverage for the business development in the future. So this is the answer that I would like to add to you and to your question. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So Achara, I'm hearing that going backwards, strengthened alumni support could reap many opportunities that already exist. And UNIDO has the ability to play that coordination function in terms of financing, because the conventional financiers are not ready to support entrepreneurs without a track record and entering into a new market. That's an additional step that you would require funding for. Thank you very much for that. I would now like to go back to the questions that were asked previously. So the first one was about funding, which Achara partially responded to, but I'd be very interested to hear from the other panelists. And then the second question was about policy as well. And this is where maybe Ramanes can also share his experience in terms of compliance. So when you enter the EU market and when you are trying to go into the medical supplies business, how did you navigate that, and what kind of support did you wish you had instead of having to navigate everything for yourself? So perhaps that could be my that could hopefully jumpstart this conversation, and then I just invite you to jump into the conversation.
Right. Okay. As you know, in any innovations, based on the scale of innovation, TRL 1 to TRL 9, TRL 4 or 5, I think, is about validation, approval, compliance. Yeah, this is a very crucial validation, TRL, technology readiness level, yeah. So any product or process or services has to go through this process. And in our industry, replacing single-use plastic, biodegradable compostable packaging is definitely subject to so many regulations and compliance and certification. And of course, we have a system, ISO system, uniformity standard, but every country has a different waste management system. Some country has compostable landfill, some country has recyclable landfill, some country has recovery landfill, some country has conventional landfill, some country has anaerobic landfill, aerobic landfill, so many landfills. So basically, I have to design a product that can meet all these requirements if I want to export to globally. So that is why in the blueprint, in the design stage at TRL 1, TRL 0, let's say, I already had all these criteria to fulfill when I design, when I do R&D, when I do a formulations to satisfy all these requirements. So along the way, we send samples, and of course, after multiple R&D, our product has been successfully certified to European standards, Japan standard, Australia standard, New Zealand standard, American standard, and going on and going on. So, however, there's a problem because validation is expensive. In your costing, when you do a financial model, COGS, cost of goods sold, if your validation, approval, certification, compliance is more than 5% of your COGS, basically you're out of market. You cannot be competitive. You have a nice product, but too expensive. Thank you. One time people buy, there's no repeat orders. That's not our business. We want repeat orders and sustainable orders. So therefore, coming back to the second question, some form of intervention is required. Who can intervene this? Bank, no way at this stage. Investors, no way at this stage. So government. The government plays a very crucial role in this building block. So in our case, when GCIP was introduced in Malaysia in 2014, so me together with our team, we approached Malaysian government to intervene at the TRL4 and TRL5 by developing a policy to create a market. Because nobody want to buy when there's no regulation. And we are in a regulatory business, meaning by law, you must comply. So that's the best business actually. So we asked government to develop a program, a policy to intervene by telling the industries, please switch from plastics to A or B or C, which is non-plastics. But they have to do it very carefully because we also cannot disturb other stakeholders, because plastic industry is also contributing massive amount of tax to the government. In our case, $6 billion tax is being contributed by the plastic industry. So if we shut down, 6 billion is gone. I cannot give that 6 billion income tax to the country. So there must be a line to be drawn. So we engage all the other stakeholders, again, through GCIP model, stakeholders engagement, develop a program, roadmap 2020 to 2030, progressively change plastics to biodegradable compostable. Then markets start coming in. Then I have a market. With the market, I have access to finance, much more easier compared to before. Then we send products to get validation, and all the approval is to tick the box. Then once finance is ready, you are commercially viable. So that's how we address both the validation part, which is very crucial, and also the second part, the intervention. When the intervention must come, and what level of intervention should come. This too is important. If the intervention come at TRL1, you're not ready. No way. If the intervention come at TRL9, maybe no need intervention. You yourself can intervene, can disrupt other industry because we are in the disruptive technology. So that's my experience.
Thank you. Thank you. I think that's a really important point because sometimes the entrepreneurs are aware of which type of intervention and actor they need to engage with, but I don't think we should expect from the entrepreneurs that they should know this. And that is why we emphasize what we call Pillar 2 in GCIP is the ecosystem strengthening. And we look at the landscape of clean tech ecosystem actors in the country. We identify what are the roles that they are playing, but what are the roles they should be playing. And then we try and strengthen their capacity so that they can better play the roles that they are mandated in the ecosystem, and also to create these linkages among the actors so that there's more efficiency in the ecosystem as well. Thank you very much, Ramanas. That's very valuable insight.
Most welcome.
So I think that, for Nigeria, very similar, what you've shared is going to work for us. I'm going to adopt your method. But, coming to GCIP, I think what should be done is when you're, identifying partners, before the National Academy or the webinars, you have to be very specific about, the kind of partners that you bring on board. For example, in Nigeria. So yes, the organization that facilitated the CCOP did well, but then we had the Federal Ministry of Environment and another agency. I think that we needed more of those agencies, and the way Nigeria works. So the Federal Ministry of Environment is not, we needed more of the agencies instead of the ministry. So there is the ministry, and then there are like 1,001 agencies under the ministry. And even though I'm in waste management right now, you have about 5 different agencies that you're supposed to register with, and so I think a proper, mapping of stakeholders, especially once you've identified the companies in the cohort, identifying stakeholders and legislators that would support the work of those entrepreneurs is very important, because now after the GCI, it would have been easier if they were on the table during like our program and we just went to them to register, compared to completing the program, then going to them and saying, so yes, I've been validated by GCIP, come register me. It's still a longer process. That's the first thing. The second thing is on the finance. I think that for us, there was a day that investors were supposed to come to the National Academy, right? And then we pitched. But for some reason, it wasn't a lot of investors that came. I think 1 or 2. But this is also a challenge in Nigeria, and I don't know whether it's across, but specifically it's in Nigerians. We want ownership of the business. So I think you can, for the GCIP, trading curriculum, it would be nice to have something about what's the word now? Investments and what equity you can give away. For example, how to raise funds from grants to government funds. I've done a lot, well, not a lot, but I've done some grants and even loans. So I think the curriculum needs to include all of those other methods outside of venture capital funds, right? I wanted to buy an equipment recently and honestly thought about 1 million on ways to get the money, but where I ended up getting it was taking a loan from the bank, and not even my own bank. It was from a family's account. So as far as I had my business plan, they saw that there was a way I could pay back. They had the money. They didn't want to give me the money, but they could leverage their money in the bank to get me loan from the bank. There are other ways to, finance a startup. I think that we should add that to the curriculum one. And even when it comes to venture capital funds, we should teach startup like myself how to value your business, what percent of your shareholding you should give away. Because I think when we teach that early, when you go to venture capitalists, right, and the fear is not there, you're more confident to even approach them. Because for Africa, for example, now there are a lot of opportunities, a lot of venture capital funds coming into Nigeria, but even I, having gone through the program, would see certain funds and be like, no, they would come take over my business. There is that fear. So we need to break the barrier by properly teaching and training and coaching startups on how to properly value their business.
Great, thank you. So just to summarize, the first would be for the GCIP to map the ecosystem that are tailored for the companies that's in that cohort, right? And then the second would be a better coaching and mentoring for the financial instruments that are beneficial to you at that particular time. Okay, great, thank you.
Yeah, I would like to add on to the conversation, as you mentioned before, that it is really crucial to create a kind of division of the roles in the ecosystem, because as for me, I can say that in our experience, we face this kind of issue with the finance and with the with this institutions, is that, for instance, as I said before, the water management right now is divided between different intergovernmental institutions. So for now, they're purchasing sensors, the smart sensors, from different developers, right? So that's why it's not unified. The data and the process is not unified. So in order for us to change the policy and to get the governmental financial support, we have to have a facilitator, independent facilitator. And I think that maybe GCIP or other UNIDO or other organizations, they can actually provide this support in order for us to get this roundtable of communications. How are we going to make this business process work? Because for now, for instance, our startup, we have our own IoT technology, and we want to make this core platform. And then we want to make these add-ons, like modules, like maybe LIMS systems or different manufacturing investigation systems or analytical systems or whatever else systems. And they can be beneficial to maybe local industries, to local manufacturing companies, to local farmers, to local institutions as well. And that's why we would like to get this kind of support of independent facilitator. In order to make this all processes work together.
Okay,
yeah.
Great. So you would benefit from more coherent standards in the country. Okay, great. Thank you.
And also the budgeting as well, because it's not only about the policies, it's also about the financial support. Because, for instance, for now, we cannot just go to the ministry and say like, hey, we have this solution, we have everything, we have the IT platform, we have the IoT sensors, we have this analytical research algorithms and whatever. Can you just like provide us the financial support? We cannot do that because, as I said before, all the different institutions, they have, they oversee different regions. And for instance, like hydroposts, we have like more than 300 hydroposts in the country, and they're all divided between different institutions. So we can, for instance, we can have like an agreement with one of them or like 5 of them, but it's not going to cover the whole country at once. So that's what I'm saying, that we need a local facilitator between the government and institutions and enterprises, and also like entrepreneurs like us. So that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
Great,
thank you.
great. Thank you very much. I am mindful of the time, but Asem, do you have any?
Just shortly, because being as a startup, it's of course it's very hard to like explain people why they should buy your product. Actually, they have no belief in you. They don't know you. You have no like any brand. You're new in the market. So that's why it's very important to like gain support from the side of the government. So because yes, I agree with you that it's like moving mountains. It's very hard to work with the habits of the people and with the business also. So that's why like we're like new in these markets, we're doing very great things. So we're like changing actually the like the ecosystem, and that's why no one need actually your products until like you like show you what can you do. So that's why in the first time actually we need the support from the side of the government. If GCIP or yes, we actually experienced this when we interviewed our target market. When we say that we are from national United Nations, they say like, oh, really? And they come to the like conversation with you. And that's why when we have like the support from the government with the partnership with United Nations, or we have maybe, I don't know, like letters, or like we have all our like meetings together with GCIP government and the startups, maybe it will be for us very like give us more strength and belief for the target market, and also for the investors also. Like that's it.
Thank you. Thank you. So there is some credibility that comes with being associated with UNIDO's GCIP program, which is very good to hear. Gulmira, you've been very generous to us with the time. From my side, I think this has been a great, great conversation. And I was actually hoping that some more, criticisms may have come up, because that's how we can improve our services to the entrepreneurs. But you've been just very generous with your comments. But I would like to also encourage you to just continue talking with us with any suggestions and comments you have, so that going forward, because it's a living program. We do have our project document and we do have our methodologies and approaches, but we want to remain relevant and we want to offer the best services possible. So just to say that we are always open to comments and suggestions. I thank you very much for sharing your experience, your expertise, and I hand back over to Gulmira now. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Sanyon, and dear colleagues, interpreters. And I see that GC program is really very useful and helpful. Yes, program. You see, now we are sitting with the entrepreneurs who started almost 10 years ago, yes, and very strong networking, yes, allows that they're very supportive to you. And I just want to highlight that we in October used the opportunity to bring our interpreter to Cleantech Days, and he had learned and bring to our country the Siemens game. And yes, and now I believe that our young ladies will come to our country, and in our national events, they will convey, yes, and deliver all the new knowledge or maybe some experience they gain here. to share with other young startups and entrepreneurs. And using this opportunity, I would like to say that the rest of our team today in the afternoon is conducting a national workshop with financial organizations and investors. And they are promoting the GCP approach, the methodology, and the whole objective and tasks of these projects. And so we are working in parallel, and we are trying to create a ecosystem for all actors, for all key stakeholders to promote the results and the outcomes of this program. And by concluding this side event, I would like to thank all the participants staying here with us. And if some questions, comments from your side, so please welcome. If not, then thank you very much for your active participation, for your willingness, and I believe that these events will be conducted in future and will strengthen our international and regional cooperation. And we invite to try our national sweets. Yes, we brought from our countries, so enjoy and see you and wish you all the best. Thank you.